'Tis the season for kids' bikes. I'm really excited to get to build this one up. It's going to be a little girl's very first bike ever. And of course, I don't know if you can see, it's pink. Let's get some of this packaging off, and then we'll get this into the stand and start putting it together. But I almost forgot, we got to grease our pole and grease our hole. Some people do one or the other. It really doesn't matter. As long as something is greased, it'll help prevent it from seizing in the future. Quick first look with all the packaging off. This color is called Eraser Pink. I'd say that's pretty accurate. Now for a little grease in the steer tube. Get that all nice and in there. And gosh darn it, grease the threads near the expansion bolt. Then we're gonna slide our stem on in. And if you didn't know, stems have a minimum insert mark. You can see that mark there with those little dashed lines. Basically the stem has to be in that far, otherwise it could potentially break or snap. Now for the handlebars, we're going to loosen these up just a little bit, and then we're going to pivot them upwards to the proper angle. Most handlebars will have little grooves on the center line, and you can just adjust those so they're hidden in the actual stem. And then we're going to tighten the actual stem bolt there, tighten the handlebars down. And then we're going to grease our pedals. Pedals do have an orientation. They're going to each be marked with an R and an L. The right side is the side with the chain. It'll be called the drive side. It's also stamped on the spindle there. It's kind of hard to see. And on the right side, you're just going to tighten this righty-tighty. And then snug them up using a wrench. And that's good. The left pedal, or the non-drive side pedal, is the weird one. It actually threads in reverse, so it's going to tighten to the left, or tighten to the front of the bike. Installing front wheels are super easy. They'll have these little washers with the tabs on them. The tabs just go into those holes right there, like that. And then you're just going to snug up the axle bolts on either side. Now for most parents' worst nightmare, installing training wheels. On this particular bike, there's going to be an inner nut and an outer nut. The outer nut we're going to loosen up and take off. The inner one we're just going to leave there. Pretty much all training wheels will come with little brackets like these. They'll have a little tab, and that tab, I'll spin it around so you can see, just kind of sits in the dropout like that, and it prevents the training wheel from pivoting too much up and down. Putting the wheels on is super easy. Most training wheels just have 2 bolts and maybe a washer. Put the bolt through the training wheel, and then through the bracket, and then you're going to put the nut on the back side and just tighten everything down. Training wheel goes over the bracket, and we're just going to tighten down the axle bolt by hand. We're not going to snug it up yet. And just get both of these kind of loose and being able to move on their own. Then we're going to tighten it up on the ground. The main reason I do this is because you do want to have a little bit of space underneath the actual training wheel itself so the bike can pivot back and forth. This will allow the kid to actually practice maintaining some level of balance with the training wheels kind of stopping them from tipping all the way over. Now, if the kid's really new to riding, you can put the training wheels on the ground, but eventually you'll want to lift them up because otherwise they're not actually practicing balancing on a bike. Once you're done, it's a good idea just to go back and double check all your bolts are tight, especially the handlebars and the stem. Check the seat, make sure that's tight. Check the front wheels since you move that. Make sure the training wheels in this case are tight and the pedals are all threaded on all the way. Thanks for watching. Hope everybody has a happy holiday. See you next time.